All right, guys, today we are kicking off the new year in 2025 by reviewing the most controversial truck on the internet. That's right. Today we're reviewing the 2025 Tesla CyberTruck. Whew. All right, guys, now before we get behind the wheel of this very controversial truck, let's walk around and talk about it. So this is the first of its kind. Elon's never made a truck before, and this is the first one. There's no generations to talk about. There's no other vehicle to talk about. So let's just talk about this one. It is very controversial, but in person, I got to admit, it's a very, very eye-grabbing vehicle. It's not beautiful, but I got to tell you, man, it is a damn near impressive looking design car. I never thought you could make a car look this crazy and still make it road legal. Coming around to the back end here, you have the blacked out bar taillights, which do light up. They have LED run-ins when you are driving. They go across. And then also these little squares light up when you're driving. It's all right. It's nothing crazy or special. Stainless steel. That's another controversial thing. And that's why it's designed the way it's designed. Also, this does unfold. And when it does unfold, it reveals a tailgate. It opens to plenty of space, actually. And you have storage in the tailgate, which is kind of nice if I do say so myself. But yeah, I mean, it's an okay working tailgate. It does the work truck stuff you would want it to do, as you would expect. And that's why when you get on the inside, you'll see that you can't see out the rear because this window right here is closed off from the world when you have the tailgate closed, because they recommend you close it for aerodynamic purposes, as you can see right there. But I don't want to rant too long about the very controversial look. We all know it looks controversial. My 2 cents on it is, it's controversial. I get the controversialness. I think it's not a beautiful car, but I do think it's a striking car. And that's the best way I can describe this. So let's hop on inside and talk about it. So to get in, just like the Model X, there is no door handles, no visible door handles. And like the Model X, it's also a button, except the button is not visible. It's like, where's the button? It's a very clean design. It's in the pillar, this big button. And it pops it open, and then you grab it from here, and you just yank it open. And you open to this very strange shaped glass and this very strange shaped door. But it feels solid, it feels heavy. So let's hop on inside because it is cold right now in Florida. So getting on in, it's very simple. You close the door, solid, and you open up to an 18-inch touchscreen and this very controversial steering wheel. Very controversial. But you open up to a very nice, very big looking interior. This 4 feet long looking shelf of a thing, it just really, it really throws you off. It's a very odd thing. But you have this really big glass that comes up pretty far. Not as far as the X, but it comes up relatively far. And then you're greeted to this very useless but very tiny little rear view mirror, which you don't even, it's pointless. It's like, what's the point? It doesn't do much of anything. Here's the infotainment system. And it shows you everything you could want. It shows you the whole, I mean, I love the animation of this truck. It just looks great. And if you want to open anything from the inside, you can here. I'm not going to go into in depth on this because this is the same setup as the Model 3, Model Y, Model X. I'm going to leave the link for those in the comment below. Go check those out if you have not seen those videos. This works, I'm not even kidding you, the exact same. So if you want to know more, go watch those videos. I will leave a link for them below. But I'll give you a quick idea. So you have the simple stuff. And if you want to control anything, you go into this button, you press that car button, and then that takes you to a whole load of menus, and then you can figure everything out from there. You have suspension and the whole 9. Now, the only thing I'm going to point out, because it's important to know about this car, because the Model X has it, but not the Model Y, and the Model 3 has it, and so they're starting to integrate this, but that is this predictive drivability, where basically to go in the drive, you put your foot on the brake, and then push forward to go in the drive, push down to go in the reverse, which pops up the camera, which looks great, and then push P for park. And that's how you drive the car. Pretty easy enough. Again, not going to go too in depth on this because I go into it further on those in my previous videos. So go check that out. But let's talk about the really other controversial part, the steering and the driving. Now, the steering I'm going to talk about when we get behind the wheel. But the steering wheel itself, it's strange. But I gotta admit, when I lay my arm right here and I'm just holding it like this, it's actually a comfortable driving experience. And it's also strange, but you can hold it like this and it kind of works. It's better than the yoke wheel, which doesn't even have the top. So I gotta give them credit. It works better, but it does feel weird moving it like this. It really does. It takes some getting used to. Now, like the Model X, you have the signal right here, and I love this camera that pops up. The right, the left. I love that. I love that. And then when you go into drive, once you fasten your seatbelt, you have a little rear view mirror that pops up in it. Let's see if I can activate it real quick. There's that rear view mirror that you pop up right there. And yeah, I mean, it works. It takes some getting used to. I do wish it was up here instead of right there. But aside from that, you can get used to it and it's easy enough. I do like it. It works because you can't see nothing out the back. So, and then what's also really nice is you have a lot of space in here. And remind you guys, I'm 6'2". If you have a problem, if this is not enough space for you, you need to like get another car or just reevaluate what you're getting. And then also down by the footwell, you got plenty of room. You got the metal brake and pedal. They do good. And you have an open spot where your wife can put her purse. Very nice. And your passenger spot. And I love the LED that goes across the door and the dash. It's very nice. At night, it looks really great. Overall, guys, this is just like any other Tesla interior, except it's a little funkier, a little wackier than the usual, but it's still very Tesla in here. Nothing crazy. And it doesn't even, it's funny because this car doesn't even say Tesla on the wheel like all the other Teslas. It just has the CyberTruck roof shape, which is kind of a cool little quirk. But with all that being said, now that you got the nice quick walk around of the interior, let's hop in the back and see how it is. And then I'll show you the Frunk real quick before we go to drive it. All right, so in the back is the same thing. You push a button, it's hidden right here. And you open it up like such. It's a pretty easy thing. Now, sitting behind me at 6'2", closing the door, very weird looking window. I have plenty of room. I mean, my feet go right underneath the seat, no problem. It's spacious back here, and the headroom's pretty good. Now, it's starting to get a little close because of this glass, but it clears. It clears, and it does an okay job. Now, you do have cup holders. They are down, but it comes up, and it creates a fifth seat, which is nice. But you can use it as a cup holder, which is excellent. It's definitely an interesting experience. You have LEDs right here, and you have a little coat hanger to put your coat on. And then you have this nice little screen, which is new for all the new Teslas. All the new Teslas are going to have this rear entertainment screen where you can basically do your entertainment things all you want. Climate controls, games, whatever. YouTube, Netflix. It's great. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Very simple. It's more entertaining than the normal rear view storage area. And obviously, this is going to be enough for a lot of kids. It's really great. Gotta love it. It complements the 18-inch touchscreen. And you also have this really nice, really dark tinted glass roof, which really, like, this is amazing. This looks great. It brightens up the rear area, but see, as you can see right here, the sun's shining on me and it doesn't it's not heating me up. It's not making me feel uncomfortable or hot or annoying me. I can see the sun, but it's not hurting my eyes. It's perfect, and I love it. And this cabin is just very spacious and very comfortable. And it really is shocking. This is Elon's first pickup truck, and he does a really great job giving you all the space you need as a big American. Because he knows the Americans love their big trucks. And this delivers. And you also have the LED lights here in the back as well, which I think is really great. And it's just a really great little area. Now, before we get behind the wheel and we drive, and I take you back to show you the driving experience, let's talk about the Frunk. Let's talk about the Frunk. So to open the Frunk, you just push this, and it automatically whirs up, like such. Once you get to the Frunk, it does say CyberTruck in this cool little melted looking finish. Looks like it was welded in there. And it's an okay storage. You could put a duffel bag here, a couple of things. I just wouldn't advise putting your finger here when you're closing it because it's pretty freaking sharp because it is stainless steel. But to close it, you just push this button and you quickly move your hand before you get decapitated. And it brings it back down just like such. And that's a nice little spot to put things. And then we can't forget this very long, ginormous. It's just stupid. This wiper is so stupid, but it's cool to look at. It's a crazy, cool thing to look at. But anyhow, guys, let's take you back behind the wheel and see how this drives. Now that you've seen the walk around of this car, how does it drive? I bet you guys are wondering this because it's the weirdest thing you've ever seen. I'll tell you what, the interior is by far gonna be the most strangest part of this entire car, aside from the outside, of course. The outside is crazy, but when you're on the inside, you're looking at this 4 feet long looking shelf, and it really shows. It makes this car you feel really far back in the car, and you see this long ass singular wiper that you saw in the walk around, which is crazy, and it just feels bizarre. Now, it feels very familiar at the same time with the hidden air vents and the simple dashboard design, the 18-inch touchscreen, which looks, as I said in the walk-around, phenomenal. So it's that shelf and the steering wheel, which looks so weird. Like you saw in the walk-around, it's very strange, almost hexagonal looking, very square-like, almost square-like. And you also have this crazy-ass huge windshield, which obviously goes with the vibe of what you're looking at when you're facing out. It's absolutely crazy. Now, it is worth noting that this is the base model. So because of the base model, that's the range and that's the horsepower. So it's not going to be as fast or as powerful as the Cyber Beast. If you guys want me to review the Cyber Beast in a future video, comment below, let me know. I might do that this year. I have some connections in that regard in terms of CyberTrucks, so let me know. But for right now, this is okay. Shout out to Tesla, who's let me demo drive this car. I'm excited to review it because I drove it a while back with my friend, but I never got a chance to review it. Now, I'll tell you something really interesting about this car. It drives very comfortably, and the speed is still fast. It's still very fast. It's still a very fast car. And something else I really love about this car is I love the lane change camera. I've talked, and I don't want to go too heavy on the lane changing camera thingy, because ultimately I've reviewed it in the new Model 3 and the Model Y, basically in all the Teslas I've reviewed up until this point, and I love it. I love it. Now, the one thing that is different is you can't see out the back because for aerodynamic purposes, you have to have the trunk closed. So as a result, you can't see out the back. It's literally nothing. So you, like I showed you, you have a rear camera. And I mean, I already told you about this in the walk around of the car, but driving it, I gotta tell you, it's strange, but you get used to it. It's small, but it works. I think one thing I wish it did do, my one complaint in terms of driving, I wish they would take it, because it's in the touchscreen. It's a little weird to look down there for that, for rear visibility. If they would take that and shove it in this tiny little mirror that is useless, that would be kind of nice. Kind of like my, if you guys seen the review of my mom's Denali, which is my most popular video, that has the digital camera mirror. And I wish it was up there. But other than that, I think it works. It's just, it's weird, and it takes a second to get used to when it comes to it being in the touchscreen. With it, it's fine. It's just, it takes a little getting used to. I think what takes more getting used to, the tech is familiar, of course, though it is cool to see moving cars, the animation of cars moving in the lanes. That's just so cool. What does take some getting used to is the steering. So, and I think this is going to be the biggest point of the car review, not even because the acceleration you talk about countless times. No. The center of topic for today is the steering, the fly-by-wire steering, which, yes, is the same type of steering they use on airplanes, which sounds ridiculous when you say it out loud. It sounds completely stupid. But how does it feel? I won't lie. It's going to take a lot of getting used to, I personally feel, because it's so immediate. There's little play in the steering. You can feel it shaking the car with just little movements. It's so immediate. It's so responsive. It sounds like the scariest way to drive because the idea is the steering isn't connected to the wheel anymore. It sounds terrifying on paper, but it feels, in reality, driving it, it feels more connected than any other steering that I've felt in any car ever. And this is a pickup truck, guys. I gotta tell you guys, when it comes to Tesla, they make some of the most innovative, well done, well designed products of all time. The cars are phenomenal. And this truck, while yes, I don't think it's beautiful, I think it's cool looking, I don't think it's beautiful, I do think it's very innovative, and it shows the potential of where trucks can go into the future. And I like that it stands out from the crowd. I mean, everyone's going to be looking at this truck as I drive by. It's a wacky truck. A lot of people would say it's ugly. I wouldn't say it's ugly. I would say it's definitely interesting. I would say it's going to turn a lot of heads, kind of like a Countach, which is kind of cool. I kind of appreciate about this truck. It's an attention-grabbing vehicle for sure. But I wouldn't say it's an ugly truck. It's very controversial. But the power's good and it's comfortable. It's just an overall solid vehicle. Once you get used to the steering, I mean, it's fine. I don't have a problem with it. It's very immediate steering. I'm barely putting anything into the steering, and it just wants to dart wherever you want to point it. And I think that's what makes this vehicle so special in that regard. Is it does what you want it to do effortlessly. It's like it's not even trying to do what it just does. And I think that's what makes this vehicle so special, personally, to me, in my eyes. And then coming up the traffic and coming to a stop, it's so quiet. It's very quiet in here. And it's very comfortable. You wouldn't expect it, but this will knock your socks off when it comes to the way it feels, how quiet it is in here. Obviously, the speakers are great in this car. They always are in every Tesla. And you have the LED lights. Overall, I mean, again, I've talked about this in the walk around, but overall, man, this car is just amazing. And even at faster highway speeds, which I have drove it at highway speeds, it's a little louder, but it's surprisingly quiet. A base model at $80,000 is not a cheap car, but thankfully, this doesn't feel like a cheap car. The driving experience does not feel like a cheap car in the least bit. And I think that's important for a consumer who wants this car. And if you just, listen, at the end of the day, if you just want something different and you just want to be different, nothing's going to do that better than this Tesla Cybertruck. And I think that's what it really comes down to at the end of the day. You're not going to get a crazier looking vehicle and a more head-turning vehicle than this new Cybertruck. And it does provide a really unique driving experience that if you're just tired of how normal trucks drive and you want to feel something different and spice up your life, this is the truck to do it. And it's a very efficient truck while at it. But it's still controversial at the end of the day. But with all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching my review on this truck. Like I said, guys, I don't want to be too repetitive here, but this is surprisingly a really great driving truck. If you can get past the controversial look and steering of this truck, 'cause the steering does feel controversial. You're going to love it or you're going to hate it. If you can get past that and the controversial look, I do think this is a great driving car. I personally think I could get past the steering because it's so comfortable in here. It's so nice. It's very well put together. I like that it grabs a little bit of attention. You look different. You stand out from the pack. And I think that's where this car really leaves its mark. So if you want to see more content like this, please like, share, comment, and of course, subscribe. If you want to see the CyberTruck review, comment below and let me know. I will do that. I'm glad I was able to bring you this for the first review of 2025, and I have many more to come. So until next time, guys, I will see you guys in another video. Peace out.